Hello, I'm Wanderer001 and I bring you a review a year in the making. This is the Balsam Hill Classic Blue Spruce tree. Now, when you think of classic trees, you're probably thinking of the things that you grew up with if you're around my age. So this is not Balsam Hill's most realistic looking Christmas tree. However, this is their most traditional looking Christmas tree. So you're not getting the realism, but you are getting that traditional look. Now, part of the reason that my wife and I ended up going with this one is because if you look around in the stores nowadays, there are a lot of skinny bottom trees. They don't look quite as full. So we wanted to have something kind of like with a fuller base, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to last year when I purchased this tree and see what we got in the box. All right, so here we're starting off with how the box looks. Obviously we open it up because, well, there's lots of sensitive information on the outside. So this particular one is the Balsam Hill Classic Blue Spruce. So ideally, packaging should be similar for all the other ones, except if it's a larger tree, which should have several boxes. This was only a 6.5 foot tree, so it would all fit in one box. Opened up on the top there, you've got like a little welcome message. Over here on the side, you've got taped down assembly gloves. A lot of people, when they're putting this thing together, you know, if you got the ultra real ones, the needles would hurt. This is kind of your classic traditional tree, fake tree, so I don't suspect they'll hurt all too much. But let's take a look here at the top. Thank you for your purchase. I'm assuming there is some instructions in there. We'll look at that later. We're just gonna take that top portion off there and you can see how nicely it is packaged. So this is even indicating section 2. So we're just gonna pull section 2 out so we can see what else we have in here. This is an unlit tree, so there are going to be no extra bulbs. However, this does look like it is a case, so you don't have to keep the box. And then here are the other sections, which are tied off quite nicely with the little ribbon here, Balsam Hill. So presentation, they get a plus for that. You can see each of the ends is also bubble wrapped. So that's kind of how things looked in the box when we first got it. All right, so the paperwork that was in that little red packet is kind of a quick setup guide and a warranty, as well as like a thank you. There's a multi-folded pamphlet here to troubleshoot just about anything that may be wrong. Instructions how to fluff the tree. And then all the way at the bottom is the tree stand. The sections I laid out over there, so even if the numbers are no longer on there. Section 1 is the largest over the way at the left, section 2 is the middle there, and then section 3 is the smallest at the top. All of them, except for the top, does have that Balsam Hill string wrapping to keep things in order. So that's what you're looking at right out of the box. An unforeseen benefit of the Balsam Hill tote that comes with it are the handles are actually cushioned. So dragging this up the stairs or down from your attic, not as difficult as some other ones and a little more comfortable. All right, first part of the setup is getting the included tree stand all situated. Then you have your labeled sections as you saw in the box before. So we're just going to take the cap off of section 1 here to protect the bag obviously from getting poked, and then we're just going to drop it right into the tree stand. Tighten section 1 into place. So the nice thing about the Balsam Hill tree is that you don't have to stick each individual branch into the center section. They all just kind of flop down after you take the ribbon off. So that's very nice. And there is our Christmas cat already interested in the new tree. Section 2 just slides into place. There's nothing to screw down, and there's Christmas cat number 2. And then just like before, if you undo the ribbon, and make sure you give yourself enough space and don't have family members around who laugh at you when the Christmas tree hits you in the face. That's section 2. The final section is just wrapped in bubble wrap because it does not actually have a cap. So you just kind of take it, bring it over to the top of the tree, and insert. It is hexed up there, so you can kind of see there's a hex guide, and then there's the hex of this, and you just kind of line that up, and it gets in there. Now, these don't really flop down like the other sections, so this one will require much more fluffing than the lower parts of the tree. So this is kind of what we're looking at when it first comes out. So a little Charlie Brownish looking right now, but hopefully some fluffing will fix that. Close-up of the actual branches themselves. You can see when you get really close there towards the stem, they have these little brown colorations, and then the leaves themselves are two different colors. One on top is dark green, and then a lighter bluish underneath. And then you can kind of see, rather than just the way that old trees were, they actually round them out. So the ones that are on the far ends are rounded. When you come in and get some of the smaller ones, they're just blunted off, but the larger, more protruding ones are a little rounder. And there's Christmas Kitty hiding in the corner. So let's take in the entire Christmas tree, top to bottom here, and then we'll come in for some closer shots. Now, I will say, if you notice, if I come over here, you can kind of see that there are some gaps. So not quite as depicted on a lot of the marketing material for this. I will say it's probably due to fluffing. If you look closely at the way that Balsam Hill pictures this tree, these end branches here are very much fluffed out into like an open palm to make it look a little more full. I'm not saying that I dislike the way that this looks, and just keep in mind, fluffing to what you see here did take about an hour. Now, next year when we try this, we'll probably try and follow the Balsam Hill directions exactly, see if it looks a little fuller than what we have here. But in comparison to our little tree that we had, I'm very happy with this. Some thoughts about this setup in general. This is the non-lit version, and what I'm going to say is my wife and I, when we put this together, we wanted to move it a little further away from that window, which our cats can get to and jump, which is also why the hodgepodge, because we have to have the cat level about here on the tree to prevent them from getting the ornaments and breaking them. There are no locking mechanisms on the second section and the third section. Only the base has a lock for the third section. So when you try and move this, if you grab the middle section and try and use that to pick up, you are actually going to separate the tree. So keep that in mind. Place first, then do everything, or else you will have the tree separate on you, and that is not a good thing. So just to give you an idea, I'll put a link to the star and the actual lights that we used, but we ended up using 6 strings of lights on here. And you can kind of see we probably should have spaced out a little more at the bottom here, but that's fine. Coming down to the stand itself, we don't have a tree skirt on here, and we do have small cats. And for the most part, they haven't really been able to knock this around at all, which is really good. They've been under there, they've been nibbling at the branches, which they shouldn't be doing, but the tree has withstood them running around it. So if you're worried about stability with small children, you might have a problem. Larger dogs maybe. Smaller cats, regular sized cats, I don't think you'll have much of a problem. So if you are in the market for something traditional in that it is a Christmas tree very much like you had when you were younger and not super realistic, I have seen these super realistic Balsam Hill trees and they are nice, but you definitely, for the tips here, these are the more realistic looking things on the realistic trees, and they're like plastic. So you actually will get pricked a lot more than with something like this. When we fluffed this, we didn't even have to wear the included gloves because, well, this is just soft, which is very nice. Just kind of staying to the one side, because I don't want to get into my light, but so you can kind of see right there, you can kind of see through it a little bit. Again, for me, it doesn't bother me. If you are looking for something depicted exactly as it is on the Balsam Hill website, you will probably have to do a little better fluffing, and again, open palm fluffing. For me, it's a good tree in comparison to a lot of things that you see in department stores and the like. So for me, waiting a year to put this up, because I got it last year, and then waited an entire year because we got it at the end of the season, because if you shop at Balsam Hill before the season starts or right after the season ends, you can generally pick these up, whether it's this tree or any of their other trees, at a very reduced price. So well worth looking into if you are considering something like this. And when I post this video, if you're seeing it right when it posts, there probably are going to be sales. And if you wait until the end, right after Christmas, there will definitely be sales. I have been Wanderer001. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, consider giving it a like, as that will help other people find the video as well. If you like what I'm doing here, you can always help fuel the next review by buying me a coffee, link in the description below. Last but not least, if you want to be notified when I upload a new video, you know what to do.